Good evening, everyone. It is I, your man, Nipun Sharma, and these are the player ratings for yesterday's absolute horror show against Manchester City. 1-3, full time. Goals from İlkay Gündoğan, Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. And a goal for Chelsea from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Pretty much sealed all 3 points for Manchester City. And now Chelsea stand ninth in the table with only 1 win in our last 5. So with that being said, before I move on to the player ratings, Frank Lampard, time as Chelsea manager could be coming to an end soon. He is a loss or 2 away from getting the sack. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And you can watch my thoughts in the video, in my previous video. So yeah, with that being said, let's move on to our player ratings. And a lot of them will be poor marks. In goal, Edouard Mendy. He gets a 5 out of 10. Yes, he conceded 3 goals, but could he have done anything about them when the defenders in front of him were having such a bad day? He made a few key saves, and in the second half, he was one of our better players, and he also kept City's 4th goal out. He gets a 6. So now moving on to the right back, Cesar Azpilicueta. Had an absolute horror show and was completely spun by the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. And he was humiliated in the build-up of the second goal and had an overall bad performance on his 400th appearance as a Chelsea player. 3 out of 10 for me. Not good enough. Moving on to the first centre-back, Kurt Zouma, one of our worst performers last night. Was given a wake-up call earlier by the likes of Raheem Sterling and İlkay Gündoğan. Completely spun by Man City's attack. And an overall poor performance from the France international. He gets a 3 out of 10. Moving on to Thiago Silva. Again, not good enough. He was the most solid defender on the night. But still, he still should have dealt with Gündoğan's shot before he took it. and was not his usual commanding self. He gets a 4 out of 10. Ben Chilwell, completely terrorised and spun inside out by his fellow compatriot, Raheem Sterling. Barely got forward and had nothing to offer in defence either. A 3.7 out of 10 for Ben Chilwell. Mateo Kovacic, one of our most frustrating players on the night. Kovacic could not influence the game at all. And he also kept making so many rash challenges, which ultimately led to him getting booked. He was just not at it. And he was no different to the rest of our teammates. Sorry, his teammates, should I say. And he was subbed off at the 77th minute. N'Golo Kanté. Arguably his worst ever performance as a Chelsea player. Looked completely disinterested, unsure when he was on the ball, could not cope with Rodrigo, and failed to nullify any threat coming from City's attack. Completely abysmal. He gets a 4 out of 10. Mason Mount. Looked okay during the start. Who tried to take on a few players, but he got worse and worse and worse as the game went on. Didn't see the ball not nearly enough and couldn't affect any proceedings when given the opportunity. I mean, he was just standing there when he had a chance to tackle someone. One of the City players. I don't know what this hype around Mason Mount is. If you want to look at Golden Boys and England, look no further than Kevin De Bruyne. Then look no further than Phil Foden. That guy is everything. Everything Lampard thinks Mason Mount is. He gets a 4 out of 10. Not good enough today, Mason. Not good enough. Now moving on to the attack. Hakim Ziyech. Like his teammates, not good enough on the night. He had a few decent crosses into the box, but completely lacked end product when it mattered the most. Still, he wasn't helped by Werner's positioning, but he wasn't helped at the office. 4 out of 10. I honestly think the players have down tools. I really do. Timo Werner. What was wrong with him? He was asked to play down the middle and was hugging the touchline for so many parts of the games. And his positioning was nothing short of shocking. And the lack of will getting into dangerous areas was concerning. He gets a 3 out of 10 from me. Not good enough. Christian Pulisic. He tried to take matters into his own hands, but still had a few bright moments, but couldn't find any end product. He was one of our better players. 5 out of 10. Now moving on to the bench. Callum Hudson-Odoi got a consolation goal, our best player on the night. He gets an 8 out of 10. Billy Gilmour. He couldn't impose his personality on the game, but it was unfair to criticise him. Kai Havertz. And I'll give Billy Gilmour a 5 out of 10. Kai Havertz got an assist for Callum Hudson-Odoi's goal, and he showed some signs of encouragement, but he was not on the pitch long enough for me to give him a fair assessment. So I can't mark him. Now, man of the match. I've already said Callum Hudson-Odoi was Chelsea's best player, but obviously the man of the match is going to be a Man City player. And that is going to be the German Ilkay Gundogan. Showed our midfield exactly what we were missing. And he could easily walk into our starting 11. Ilkay Gundogan. You see, he showed us exactly how a midfielder should work. So Gundogan's rating, he gets a 10 out of 10. Leave your player ratings in the comments below and your man of the match. For me, it's Ilkay Gundogan for his goal and his excellent performance on the pitch as well. So yeah, he gets a 10 out of 10 and he is my man of the match. So with that being said, my Premier League... with that being said, social media is in the description below. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications if you haven't already. My Premier League predictions, my reactions to my Premier League predictions will be out tomorrow. And this is the end of this video. So with that being said, you have been a fabulous audience, and this is Nipun Sharma signing off. Take care of yourselves. Peace. Up the Chelsea, and London is blue.